A few people will be joining us as we get started. Uh, hi everyone. My name is Paul. Project coordinator at HackerX, and I'm excited to have you guys with us today as we, walk you through the hackathon. Explain exactly how everything would go, and also answer all your questions. So as I said, my name is Paul. I'm a coordinator of AkaX, and to kickstart this, I'll just introduce some of the AkaX team members as well as distinguished guests on this call. So I am Paul, and as I said, I coordinate AkaX. Besides AkaX, I'm also a product manager at Nestcoin, one of Africa's foremost blockchain companies. Prior to this, I did some robotics and AI in Asia. And before then, I worked with TeamApt, now known as MoneyPoint, as a project manager. I'm excited to be here and to be, having this call with you guys. Besides myself, we also have Ayomitan Pamilerin of Klaytn, and Ayomitan is a developer advocate at Klaytn. And please go ahead to introduce yourself.
All right, hi guys. Excited to be here basically, and for the different builders that we have around building amazing stuff, and also participating in the hackathon. So, like Paul said, my name is Ayomitan Pamilerin, and I'm a developer advocate at Klaytn Foundation basically. And what I do basically is to help developers build amazing use cases. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear, yeah.
Oh, awesome. So I basically empower developers, in different capacity, especially in the crypto ecosystem. So basically, I'm a developer advocate, and anything that has to do with empowering developers in the ecosystem. Yes, that's pretty much about me.
All right, great. And we also have Deborah. Deborah is CEO of Klaytn Blockchain, one of Africa's other foremost blockchain companies. Klaytn has been at the forefront of the Web3 ecosystem growth for some years now, and it'd be nice to have you here. If you can just spend a few minutes to introduce yourself, that would be great.
Yep, pleasure to be here. Paul, thanks for having us and looking forward to a very insightful session.
All right, awesome. So so as not to waste much time, I think I'm going to kickstart this. So to first start, to kickstart, as we mentioned on the group, one lucky person will be the winner of 15 USDT at the end of this session. So all you just need to do is, as we're on this call, go on Twitter or any other social account. Twitter is preferable. Tweet about AI EduHack. You can tag AkaX Africa, and at the end of this call, we'll choose one lucky winner to win a 15 USDT giveaway. So I'm just going to start with explaining what the AkaX Hackathon is, what AkaX as a group is, and what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm going to share my screen very quickly for you guys to see. So AkaX is Africa's emerging tech launchpad. So what we've come together as a group to do, as a group to do at AkaX, is to empower builders like yourselves to be able to build in the fields of robotics, blockchain, and AI. We've noticed that despite the growth of these technologies across the world, in Nigeria, we're still largely consumers, right? So we want to be able to empower developers within Africa to be able to build in these industries very easily. And we do that by providing education. So we provide articles, courses, bootcamps, workshops, and a bunch of other stuff on our platform. Apart from this, we also provide funding opportunities like hackathons and grants, one of which is this AI EduHack Hackathon. We also conduct networking events over the course of the year. So both casual as well as technical events for you to be able to network with other people, meet mentors, and basically just grow your community. And then in the next few months, we're going to be launching a startup incubator program for people who already have projects that they've built and they want to be able to take it to the next level. So that is a brief summary of what AkaX is. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it within the chat and we can answer them at the end of this session. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight into the hackathon and what we expect from participants. So as I mentioned previously, the hackathon is titled AI EduHack, Hack for the Future of Education, and what we expect is for people to come build projects that basically use generative AI, large language models, and such new technologies to be able to revolutionize the educational landscape within Africa. As we know, in Africa, we suffer from a lot of, terrible infrastructure in our educational system. And we hope that with this hackathon, we can actually build something that helps to improve that a little bit. And we have a $2,000 prize pool for the hackathon, which I'll be going into shortly. And in terms of timelines, the hackathon officially starts on the 16th of April, 2024. And it starts online where people can start building, submit their projects, submit their ideas and start building. And then it ends with a finale at Amadio Event Center in Enugu, Nigeria on April 17th. And AkaX is proudly supported by Klaytn, EduHack, and Klaytn Blockchain. And we have a host of community partners in DSN UNN, Blockchain UNN, Play to Learn, as well as Blockchain Hub Africa. So for AkaX, for this AI EduHack Hackathon, we don't just expect only developers to join, right? Besides being a developer, if you're also a non-technical person, maybe a founder, a product manager, a designer who wants to contribute, we are open to everyone participating in this hackathon to build something really great. And in terms of the hackathon tracks, we have 4 different tracks. One of them is personalized learning and assessment. So this one involves you building tools with AI that allows users to be able to have personalized learning experiences. So for example, custom feedback, being able to learn how a student, studies or learns, and then using that model to be able to provide customized feedback for the person, as well as customized support. Then we have a special track called AI and Blockchain for Education, which Pamilerin will be going into shortly. Thirdly, we have a track, Accessibility and Inclusivity, which basically involves building solutions that make education more accessible. As we know, in Africa and Nigeria specifically, we have a lot of out-of-school students. We have a lot of people who have some learning impairments that prevents them from being able to access the educational materials that everybody else can. So we want to see what you can build in this field to take advantage of AI to be able to solve these problems. And then lastly, we're looking for people building solutions that aid teacher support and professional development, not just for teachers specifically, but for schools and administrations. And in terms of what we are looking out for in your projects and how we evaluate what project is a high quality one. So we're looking out for things like impact. So how impactful is the solution you're building to the educational landscape. Then secondly, how innovative is your solution? And then functionality of your solution. Does it actually work? It's better to build something that isn't fancy but still works rather than building something fanciful, but all it just does is look good but not functional. And then lastly, we're looking at business viability. Is how feasible is this project in the marketplace? Of course, you're welcome to build fun projects. There is no problem with that at all. But if you also have it in mind to build projects that can actually become a business, this allows us to be able to support you beyond the hackathon to be able to bring your project to life. Lastly, in terms of our hackathon timelines, so as I said, today we're doing the pre-hackathon AMA with myself and Peter Ayo is Pamilerin. And then, sorry, let me just add more people who want to join quickly. And then on Tuesday, 16th of April at 6 a.m. Sorry, this says 9 a.m. because I'm currently not in Nigeria. But at 6 a.m. West African time, the hackathon officially begins. So you can start creating, of course, you should have created your teams by then. Start creating your GitHub repos and submitting them. And then on Wednesday, the 18th of the 17th of September, that is the actual pitch day. So the expectation is that you should have started building on the 16th so that by the time you come to the Amadou Event Center on the 17th, you already have, at least the skeletal framework of what you're trying to build. And, you come there on that day to be able to wrap up your project and also present. For the 17th, it starts with arrivals and introductions at around between 7 and 8 a.m. And then welcome remarks from AKX organizers as well as the sponsors. And then from around 9 a.m., you're going to start hacking. And we're going to provide food, drinks, music to help you focus during the course of the hackathon. And then at around 2:33 p.m., because you've already started building the day before, you should be getting ready to submit your project. And the reason why we are trying to finish it early is so that people who are coming from universities like, UNN and the likes can be able to commute back, as early as possible. And then at around between 2:45 and 3 p.m., we're going to take the final pitches from people who have finished their projects and submitted it successfully. Submission instructions will be given on that day of the hackathon. And then at around 4 p.m., we should distribute prizes to whoever are the winners of the respective tracks. And just to go over the prizes again, so we have two sets of prizes. First of all, we have the overall prize, where the first prize for all tracks except the AI and blockchain track wins 500 USD. And when I say all tracks, I don't mean each track. So you can build in any of those other three tracks. We don't really judge based on you building on one track over the other. It's just going to be on the quality of your project. So we have an overall first prize of 500. Second prize is 300 USDT, and then the third prize is 200. And then for the AI and blockchain track specifically, which Pamela will go into shortly, we have the first prize winner taking 500, second prize winner taking 300, and then the third prize winner taking 200. So that's a brief overview of the hackathon. We're going to have a host of speakers, judges, and mentors who are there to help you. And apart from that, you can also go to this hackathon webpage to go find out more information. That's an overview of how the hackathon will go from my end. If you have any questions, as I said, feel free to drop it in the chat. Before I hand over to Peter Ayo, does anyone have any questions that they would like me to answer? Okay, I guess
Hello.
not.
Good evening. I think I have a question. Sorry.
Sure, go ahead.
When you were starting, you said something about Twitter, some post on Twitter. I didn't get that correctly. Please, can you reflect on that again?
Oh yeah, so I said that we're going to be giving out 15 USDT to
Okay.
we're going to be randomly choosing someone. Of course, the more likes and reposts you get on your tweets, the higher your chances. So we're going to be picking someone randomly at the end of the meeting. Right.
Okay. All right.
All right, great.
No.
So now I'm going to be handing over to Peter Ayo, who is going to be taking us through Klaytn. And for anyone who is interested in building in the AI and blockchain track, this is the time for you to, answer your questions or ask any questions you may have. Over to you, Peter.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paul. Let me just quickly share my screen. And yes, let's go. So, Paul, can you mute every other person? Also, this if I okay.
Yes, I've done that.
Yeah, thanks. All right. So just to confirm, can everybody see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Awesome. Let me just move over to slideshow and just keep it going. All right. So thank you very much, Paul, for that introduction and overview of AKX. Very quickly, I'll be going over Klaytn and also why you should build on Klaytn specifically, and also why the track has been drafted, the problem statement, and also some of the things that you need to know for selection, right? And yes, that's pretty much what I'll be doing today. And so a little bit about me, like I mentioned before, my name is Peter Ayo. Pamilerin, you can call me Pamilerin also. And I'm a developer advocate at Klaytn Foundation. And this like my social links. So Klaytn, basically, in a nutshell, is an EVM compatible public layer one blockchain. And when we say EVM, everybody must have heard of Ethereum, especially if you have been into space for quite a while. And Ethereum is more like the layer one guy leading the blockchain space, right? Being the pioneer. And Klaytn also is like an EVM compatible layer one blockchain, but with its own specificity, right? So sometimes in 2019, we launched our mainnet called Cypress. And also we have our testnet, which is called Baobab, which I'll go to in a while. And the consensus mechanism that we are currently running on is called Istanbul Byzantine fault tolerance. And at the moment, we have like 34 global companies participating as our governance council. And at the core of Klaytn protocol, we have something called unique account and transaction model, which I'll explain in a while. And so far, we've been looking at different initiatives around driving real changes, focusing on real world assets tokenization, digital ownership, and especially Asia expansion, right? So technically, the unique selling point of Klaytn is we boast of 1 second block finality, right? Which means that once you initiate your transaction, it only takes 1 second for it to be verified and validated on the blockchain. We also have 4,000 transactions per second and also low transaction fee. For as many people that are familiar with Ethereum blockchain, we all know of the gas fees and surge in gas prices. But in the case of Klaytn, right, we boast of really, really low transaction fees. I mean, like you can initiate a transaction and pay for your transaction for as low as 20 cents, right? And this is what we are trying to do, where we have a blockchain ecosystem where everybody can build enterprise application and people can adopt it without having to bother about cost. On the right hand side is a list of our governance council as of February 2024. So we have Kakao, we have Ozis, we have Netmable, and we have some other guys in the ecosystem, right? We also have Dora Axe, we have Presto, we have Animoca brands, right? Just to mention a few. So going back in time, sometimes in 2018, we had our design goals, and because of the fact that the existing blockchains had some bottlenecks around lack of finality, poor performance, basically, and also unpredictable costs, like I mentioned, we had gas price surge and all of those things. Now, coming in 2018, 2019, we pictured a future where we can have finality, high performance, predictable cost, and of course, enterprise friendly features, right? And now these were the goals that we had in mind while building Klaytn infrastructure. And this brings me to the point where so far since 2019 to this time, this is our mission, right? And our vision to make a better world through blockchain technology, basically contributing to a transparent and fair society, right? So we are looking forward to an economy system where it's powered by the blockchain and everybody can basically contribute and participate. So we like to see ourselves, or we call ourselves the public foundational layer of tomorrow's on-chain world. And if you agree with me, I mean, a lot of persons are online right now, and a lot of persons are already saying that the next online is on chain. And I pretty much appreciate everybody here today because I mean, you're in the loop of the next frontier of the technology, and that is why I'm having this talk with every person today to be onboarded, basically. And that is why Klaytn is that suitable ground for your on-chain activities, right? Like I said, so going over what we have been doing so far in the past years, in the previous years, and that takes me to Klaytn in number. So in the last 4 years, we've had over 2 billion total transactions and 30 million total EOAs that are active, and also 11 million total NFT holders, and also 252 million average daily volume, basically. So we boast of 796,000 average daily transaction, basically, and more than 300 projects thriving on Klaytn. So when I mean project, I mean applications that are actually running on Klaytn. So if you are part of this hackathon and you are looking forward to build on Klaytn, you're pretty much welcome to join these numbers that we have right here, right? So far, these are the number of active wallets. Klaytn was indexed to be one of the most actively used blockchain in 2023. Also for transaction, we had high surge in transaction processing in 2023 compared to other chains. And also in the ecosystem, we've had a lot of recognitions, and a pretty much example of such recognitions. We have root data. We also have some recognition from the general ecosystem, Electric Capital. If you're familiar with Electric Capital basically just gives an index of what the ecosystem looks like, right? More like a report. So it was recorded that Klaytn Builders has grown over 438% since 2020, right? So I've been talking about the numbers, right, and also a little bit of what Klaytn is, being a layer 1 EVM compatible blockchain, which runs, I mean, IBFT, which runs Byzantine fault tolerance consensus algorithm, right? And so far, I really want to stress on the technology, right? Because I mean, this is what you'll be using, right, while deploying your smart contract, while building your dApps, right? And so far, we have, like I mentioned before, we have 1 second block finality, right? So you initiate your transaction and it is immediately validated and added to the blocks, right? So imagine a world where somebody wants to perform transaction on his or her phone, and it takes like minutes before transactions are being validated. This, in a sense, is like a bottleneck to user experience, right? But with Klaytn, that's not the case, right? Because we have 1 second block finality, and in this case, everybody will agree with me that most persons perform digital activities on their phone, right? And so once you initiate transaction on your phone, you want it to be so swift, and Klaytn provides this environment where once you initiate transaction, take for instance, you're playing a game, right? You don't want to wait for like 13 minutes before your transaction is being validated. You want it to be swift, which of course promotes really great user experience. Also, we have 4,000 transactions per second, which means that at a goal, in one block, more than 4,000 transactions can be added in a block, which of course is really a sweet specs, or is a really sweet spec for people building enterprise applications, right? Because you want to be able to validate as much as many transactions in a block, right? And in the past few years, we've had comparison with other blockchains, Solana, BSC, Polygon, and this is more like the statistics, right? We kind of have like an edge over other blockchains, right? And which is the block time, right? For other blockchain, it takes 3 seconds, 1 second, and all of those things. But for Klaytn, it takes 1 second. And we also have 4,000 transactions per second, like I mentioned, right? And just the sweet thing also is that Klaytn is EVM compatible. And when I say EVM compatible, it means that everything that works on Ethereum, for those who are familiar with Ethereum blockchain, same thing works on Klaytn. So take, for instance, your smart contract is written in Solidity, practically everything, even the developer ecosystem, the developer tools ecosystem, right? Your Remix, your ADAT, basically your smart contract development environment, and also every other developer tools, right? Everything works end to end with Klaytn, right? So basically, you can take your smart contract on Ethereum and deploy on Klaytn, right? It works on the go. Also, we have consensus algorithm called PBFT, like I mentioned, and this is what is powering our unique selling points for 1 second block finality, which is also instant finality if you look at it. And also we have the fact that it is not powered by electricity, right? In the case where people are using proof of work and they have to run different, algorithms to be able to validate transactions in the case of proof of work, right? And this is pretty much the technical part. And also at the core infrastructure of Klaytn, we built this system around preserving private keys, right? So if you'd ask me, in the Ethereum ecosystem or other ecosystem, once a private key is exposed, you basically just know that all of your funds, they are just gone, right? You have no access to them again. But in the case of Klaytn, we did something with our protocol, right? Which is called decoupling of private key and address. We call it Klaytn account model. So this means that you can change your private key in the case where you suspect that something is wrong, right? So that means that in a case where there's a leak, right, you can easily swift or change your private key, and say the hacker or whosoever stole your the access can no longer have access to it because you already changed your private key. Your private key is basically what you use to do stuff in the crypto space, right? You sign transaction, you basically sign transactions with your private key. So everything that you're doing in the crypto space is really, really based on your private key. So once you lose your private key, your ownership is no longer, that ownership concept is no longer in your hands, right? So moving forward, this account model is basically for better security. People can, like I said, they can update their private key. Also, you can, for each private key that you have, you can set each roles for this private key. You can set that, oh, this private key is meant for signing, this private key is meant for smart contract execution, this private key is meant for sending of Clay, and so on, right? So you can also check our docs to better understand what I'm talking about, right? So also at the protocol level, right, we have this thing called gas fee delegation to abstract away the gas problem where a user is just onboarding to your application, right? So at the whole level of comprehension for people just coming into the blockchain space, right? Once you come to the dApp, you create your wallet. Once you create your wallet, you want to be able to interact with the application. But in this case, there's a problem of you paying for gas, and which of course is not usually seamless. You have to go to like a centralized exchange to get the native tokens of that blockchain, and you fund your account. But with Klaytn, it's very, very seamless because we have something called fee delegation. Now, as an enterprise application, while building, you can use our fee delegation feature to ensure that people don't pay for any gas fees while interacting with your application. So take, for instance, if you're an enterprise application that have implemented fee delegation, all you need to do is people just come to the application and interact with the DApp, right? They don't have to bother about paying for gas fees because you already delegated the gas fees to yourself as the enterprise provider, right? Or as the provider of such services. You're basically offsetting these gas fees from the neck of the end users, and you are footing the gas fees basically. So this is what fee delegation is all about, which of course helps user experience, user onboarding, and coupled with the fact that we have role-based accounts or accounts model. This is really, really interesting and fascinating. So just go through a little on the different ecosystem partners and projects that we have and the different use cases. So here is like a wide map of the different ecosystem partners and also projects, right? In the DEX section, we have Belt Finance, Sky Protocol, we have ClaySwap. In the gaming sector, we have Neoply, we have Remix, we have Meta, we have Ethereum Still Alive, and also in different segments, we have different projects, right? Especially in the wallet segment, we have KaiCas, we have MetaMask. In the tools and infrastructure, we have Anchor, we have BlockPi. For as many people familiar with these guys, I mean, you can check them out. For oracles, we have Oracle Network, we have Orbit Bridge, we have Wormhole, we have Witnet, and also for enterprise, we have Salim Group and all of these amazing guys, right? So in the Klaytn ecosystem, we have different wallets. Like I said, we have KaiCas, we have Clip, and all of those things. So this is just an explanation of what Clip is all about. So Clip is more like a native wallet for people who are on their mobile, right? You can access this wallet on your phone, basically, right? And you basically can buy Clay, you can transfer every Klaytn compatible tokens, right? And also we have KaiCas, which is like a non-custodial wallet, right? And this is, in a while, we'll get to this basically. As of February 2024, we have more than 600K users, which is basically available on iOS, Android, and also Chrome extension. So in a while, I'm going through how to basically install KaiCas wallet for those who don't know how to install. Also, we have different use cases and different sectors. I mean, we have DeFi, game, infra, wallets, and all, right? So for the past few months, we really have been focusing on the concept called real-world assets, right? And real-world assets is basically taking your assets in the real life and representing them on chain with tokens, right? If you understand what I'm talking about, right? So in the previous months, what we've been able to do is that we've been able to look at tokenization of gold, right? By partnering with Creda. And what this does is that you can buy gold with your crypto assets, right? Take for instance, you can buy gold with your Clay and basically have a portion of gold, which of course was not possible in previous times, right? In the real world, you have to go to either a gold dealer or something to get gold. But in this case, imagine being able to buy gold with your crypto assets, right? This is really amazing. All right, so for the different projects that we've partnered with in the past for real world asset tokenization, we have Elysia, we have Neopin, and we also have Corindo, right? Just to confirm, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Oh, awesome.
You're muted, by the way.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I forgot that. Oh yeah, so we also have different partners, right? Especially when it comes to real world asset tokenization. And so far, we also I really invested in anything related to real-world assets tokenization. And in this light, we have some partners like Tokeny and also Tiger Research, right? Also, speaking on digital ownership, we've been able to do really amazing stuff in this sector by driving real change. And to do that, we have different projects like Superwork, DeFi Kingdom, Drawshop Kingdom, and also like Nino Kuni. And what this actually does is that when we talk about digital ownership, right, in the blockchain space, is basically reflecting on your unique features, right, and replicating this using non-fungible tokens, right? So when we say non-fungible tokens, it means NFTs, and NFTs, in a sense, is what we use in the blockchain space to represent something that is unique, that has its own unique features, right? If you get that, and to represent digital ownership in games, these partners are the ones who we have been able to work with in the past and also still working with them. And this is what we are pushing out to the ecosystem. All right, so for reference, we have the following links for your view. You can check out Klaytn.foundation. You can check out docs.klaytn.foundation if you have, any question. And also you can like go to our Medium page and also on Discord and Twitter, right? So if you're a developer and you want to like build, the first point of contact is Klaytn Docs. And also if you have any question, you can go to forum.klaytn.foundation, right? So this is where I'll be ending for the overview, right, for this moment, and just quickly jump into, building stuff, right? 1 minute.
Yep. All right, great. Thanks for that, Peter. So I think right now, before you go into specifics of this hackathon and how people can build within the track, do we have any questions so far based on Ayo's presentation? Yes, Ekene, go ahead.
As regards to it was talking something about having different private keys. With my little knowledge about cryptocurrency, I do know that private keys are used that generate public keys. So if you have multiple private keys, how do you have like one public key that you can use? People can use, finally on the blockchain and send you transactions, that kind of stuff.
All right. Thank you very much, Ekene, for that question. So when it comes to account generation, right, in Klaytn has its own format for generating account. Let me just quickly go back to that slide, right? And so for every account, we have their own unique private key, right, like you mentioned. But for Klaytn, it has a different account model, right? So this enables you to be able to specifically change your private key because of this account model, right? So it's not just the one on Ethereum as we are familiar with, and this is why it's a unique feature on Klaytn, like I mentioned. So you can basically change your private key and update it, and that's why we have SDKs like Web3 Klaytn and also Kava.js. This is what you would use, and also on the front end of our native wallets, you can basically perform these stuffs, right? And this is why it's a unique feature on Klaytn. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it is an account model on Klaytn, and like you mentioned, you're definitely correct. But in Klaytn, you can basically change your private key, right? And in this case, is based on the fact that we have this unique model for accounts on Klaytn, right? So to do this, you have to write amazing scripts, right? Or you have to really write scripts if you're
I think, can you guys, okay, Peter, you froze for a second. You can go ahead now.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got a call actually. So this is basically what I'm trying to say, right? Like it's a unique model for accounts on Klaytn, basically. So for accounts, basically on Klaytn, you can change your private key, like I mentioned. And this is not because it happens on you've not probably heard it anywhere else or in any other chain, and that's why it's a unique feature on Klaytn. So if you check this other slide, you see that each private key has their own role, and you can basically say that, oh, I want this private key to be able to sign transactions. I want this private key to be able to send Clay. I want this private key to be able to do smart contract execution or any other thing that you want it to do. So these are the unique features on Klaytn, if you do understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Again, I hope that answers your question.
Yes.
All right, great. So that we don't take much time, I think if you have any other questions, just drop them in the chat, and we can take Q&As at the end of the session. Ayo, please, you can go ahead to give us specifics of the hackathon, especially with regards to how people can build on Klaytn for this specific AM blockchain track.
Oh yeah, thank you. Let me quickly share my. Oh, I'm sharing. Oh, all right. So let me just quickly share here. Slideshow. Yeah. Yes. So for the Klaytn AKX Africa track, especially for this hackathon, right? So this is more like the category, yeah, and we have a price of like 1K, and the price schedule is actually on the website, right? But just to go over like the problem statement. So for this hackathon, the challenge for each developer is to create an AI-generated enchanted Web3 ecosystem. And because the major focus of this blockchain of this blockchain hackathon is, or the track is, education industry. So what we are looking for is a solution that can revolutionize the learning or the education industry, basically. And some of the things that we can think at the top of our head is like a decentralized learning platform and also credential verification, right? So take, for instance, in a case where you are a university, and you build a solution for a university for students to verify their participation or their studentship in that university. So just think that kind of solution for education, right, around decentralized learning platform and also credential verification. And also we have say the floor is open for what's it called now, for open building, right? So the major focus is impact, right, solution, the completeness, and also application, because this hackathon is basically focused on the education industry. We are really looking forward to a solution that utilizes the Klaytn blockchain, especially in this hackathon, to build something that has impact, one, and your code is complete, basically. All right, and you are basically implementing your solution on the Klaytn blockchain, right? So yeah, this is what we are really looking forward to, and we also expect that for you to be eligible, you have to provide a presentation that demonstrates the protocol or DApp use case. You have to provide the address of your deployment of your contract on Klaytn, right? You also have to provide like a URL that helps us see your solution, because we want to be able to interact with your solution. And also, if it's possible, you can provide a link to your repository for your DApp. And that's basically all that we are looking for in this hackathon. And we really do hope that the builders here will be able to, build something really amazing and impactful, right? But that's that about this the track and the problem statement. I don't know if anybody like You have any question or?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
My question is as with regards to the hackathon, please, uh, is this supposed to happen exactly on that day? Like we are supposed to do these projects exactly on that day and submit it on that day, provide the slide on that day. Like, is everything supposed to be exactly on that 17th, or are we going to review and then present on the 17th?
I wouldn't know if Paul wants to answer that question.
Yeah, I'm going to answer that question. So, as I said earlier, the hackathon starts officially on the 16th. So, by the 16th of April, we expect everyone who is going to participate to have form their teams. So, we are currently collecting team applications now. We're going to send the form out on the group again. So we expect that by the 16th, everyone has formed their teams, and we're going to close the team application by then. And then once you start hacking on the 17th, you can then come for the physical finale. Not you can, but in order to actually be presented with a prize, you have to be present for the physical finale that starts at 8 a.m. So the idea is after introductions and networking, you go on with your team to conclude your project, right? The physical hack takes place for about 5 hours with food, drinks, and music, and that gives you the opportunity to finish up your project, tidy things up, create your pitch decks, and then after then you can then present to the judges and get your prizes if you are selected as a winner. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Thank you.
Great. I see Ifeanyi Unweze has a question. You can unmute and okay, I guess.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I was going to ask the same thing, almost the same thing Ekene asked about the presentations and how it was going to be. But I think you already answered. And the second part was also about the teams. You already said something about it already. So that was my question initially.
Yeah, so in just to recap about the teams, you feel free to create any number of team members, but of course the smaller the better, because if you have team members, it might be difficult to distribute the tasks. But of course, we want a minimum of 2 to 3. I mean, a team does not make up one person. A team is made up of more than one person. So you want to see collaboration, team spirit, and I mean, at the end of the day, great ideas. I expected this question from someone, but since we don't have it yet, I just wanted to also clarify that there is no specific. You are not mandated to use any specific stack, or technology, especially with regards to LLM and AI tools, as long as your solution integrates a technology. And when we say technology, we don't just mean integrate ChatGPT as a front-end solution. You have to actually use the API. You have to actually build something that's using code, because on the day you would also be submitting your GitHub repository.
Okay, understood.
Do we have any other questions?
No?
All right, great. Yes, can I go ahead?
The question I want to ask is as regards to the raffle. Please, are we supposed to like tag Hi, someone with tweet the tweet.
So, according to the rules of the raffle, you have to follow AkaX. You have to tweet about AkaX and the AI EduHack hackathon. And after this meeting, we're gonna go through the our Twitter to see the tweets, and then we'll choose the winner randomly. We're going to just mention your Twitter handle on the group, and whoever the winner is can congratulate themselves directly there. But of course, we look at things like how it's a raffle, and the more retweets or likes that you have, the better your chances. Lastly, I have a question for some of the attendees here. Okay, Ezekiel, please go ahead before I ask my question.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello. Okay. For those that are building a blockchain solution, now, is there how? Please, can you just post the link you like so we can get familiar with how we can go about it? Since is a new this thing we'll be using. Like, is there a doc for that? We can quickly go over and know what is required.
Hi, Samuel. Like I meant, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, but my network is breaking.
Oh, I see, I see. So the first thing you want to do is actually familiarize yourself with say the Klaytn blockchain, which of course you mentioned. And if you are really familiar with building on blockchains, especially EVM compatible blockchains, building on Klaytn should not be like an headache or a stress. So all you have to do is, like I mentioned, all the old tools in the Ethereum ecosystem works on the go with Klaytn, right? And also, I'll be sharing the docs right now. I mean, and also in the group, right? And you can just go over the DApp section or the tutorial section. You find something really helpful, right?
All right, I see a thumbs up from Ezekiel, so I guess that answers his question. Ikene, do you have one more question? I can see your hands up before we wrap up.
No, I don't have the question. Sorry, I didn't like move the hand when I asked the last question.
All right then. So I have a question. How many people here will be coming from UNN or are currently based in UNN? You can just okay, I have two so far. Okay, I have three. And who else? How many? Okay, so just as a disclaimer for those coming from UNN, we're going to be providing free transport, uh, especially going back. And one of the reasons we want to wrap up early so that you can go back to uni as safely as possible. So we're going to be providing more details about that on the group, and just make sure that you are keeping track with updates on the group so that you can be able to coordinate with whoever is going to be organizing the logistics. All right. I guess I don't think we have any more questions. If you do, please feel free to send them over on the group, and we are always ready to answer your questions. I'm excited to see what everyone builds on that day. Looking forward to, first of all, seeing your team formations before the 17th or before the 16th rather, And we're going to be sharing the link for you to submit your team information before the deadline, and then also looking forward to actually seeing you on the hack day. It's going to be a great day of some of the faces that you're seeing here are going to be there as well, to provide not just not just prizes, but also mentorship. Networking is a great chance to actually meet with some people who are very experienced and accomplished in the blockchain and AI field. So I look forward to seeing you there, and see you on the group, everyone. And thanks for joining again. Special thanks to Peter Ayo from Klaytn for taking us through that great presentation on how to build on Klaytn. Thanks, everyone, and see you. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you. You're welcome.